Yeah, it's 212. And I have quite a few different documents in this portfolio here. Yeah. And I know that there's something important in here. Yes. Exhibit B, Jack. Yeah. hmm On June 1st of 2015, the court issued a protection order. Yeah. Where they had reissued a protection order. Where they reissued a protection order. Yeah. Where they had reissued a protection order. Where they had reissued a protection order. Where they had reissued a protection order. Now, I had emailed law enforcement today about not having the jurisdiction to issue the protection order in 2011. Then not having the jurisdiction to reissue the protection order in 2012. Then not having the jurisdiction to modify the protection order in 2012. Yes. And then not having the jurisdiction to reissue the protection order in 2013. Yeah. And then this undeliverable mail on August 7th of 2013. Yeah. Seemed like there was a lot of undeliverable mail during the last 8 years. Yeah. Did you get a copy of the counselor's evaluation and recommendation that was given to the court? Yes. In approximately August. Now, it did take some time to do the parenting classes with a focus on those that are children. Yes. And then it was November, the end of November, that they allowed me to leave the island. Yes. Now, I know you're probably thinking he doesn't have any lawsuits today. In fact, why don't we just spend the first half hour, yes, believing that there's no possible way that I could sue you? Somebody's living in a delusion. See, there's what's known as the I, the OIC. I see, yes. How do you see through the actual human eyes, or what's the difference between the eye of a person, yes, an eye of a twin, an eye of a look-alike, oh, an eye of a clone, yes, and an eye of a fish? See, somebody has what is known as the inability to see. hmm Now, I had LASIK surgery, yes, and I had glasses from the time that I was approximately 7 years old. No, seventh grade. Yeah, eyesight got worse in the seventh grade until I was 30 years old. And I was working at WM Financial Services. In fact, I went to Dr. Wickline's office when I got back here from Guam. He didn't have my file, but he had my wife's file. Now, what is so special about the eyesight of those that are in the family? Is it that you do see, or you have grown used to seeing through the eyes of someone other than yourself? Oh, I see. Quite a few times when speaking to different individuals, I see, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, now, one is, oh, I see, I'm sewn into the lizard in the rectum. Yeah. And the other is, I see, I've gone the way. Now, oh, by the way, Mike Van Point, I'm going to want the eyeballs. Yes. See, if you did not have an actual eyeball in the eye socket, yes, there's a good probability that you could not see. Now, just looking at the intake and assessment of Paul Chad Budnick, yes, this was on August 18th of 2011. You had already issued a protection order on August 12th, yes, of 2011. Isn't that right? Yes. Without any evaluation. Yeah. Without any questioning of myself about the availability of the spouse having that issued. Yes. Now, I actually didn't commit any domestic violence or child abuse. Yeah. But it looks like the court does not see what I'm trying to explain to them. Now, maybe Brent. Yes. Do you see, Brent? What I'm trying to explain to you? Because every time I email, you just don't seem to be able to see what I'm saying. Yes. Now, dear Judge Lamarana, the above named person, Paul Chad Budnick, was referred for counseling with the Client Services and Family Counseling Division, yes, of the Judiciary of Guam, pursuant to proceedings resulting from the charges, yes, of child abuse, assault, and family violence. Now, these were the charges that were dismissed. I didn't go through a jury trial. No. My wife made up a fraudulent accusation, yeah, of child abuse, assault, and family violence. Now, Mr. Budnick was seen, as in, I did sit with an individual. Yes. He did spend approximately an hour to 2 hours with me. Yes, he did. And he did an evaluative assessment on August 18th of 2011. We really did have a conversation. Yes. Where he had a certain format that he uses. Yes, he does. To do one of these intake and assessments. Now, as a result of the assessment process, it was determined that parenting classes with emphasis on children 12 and under, and marital counseling, it's family violence instead of domestic violence. There could be a difference. Yes, there could. Now, you said it was domestic violence in the state of Washington. Yes. It's a no contact order for protection, yes, based upon domestic violence or family violence. Right now. Now, may be a benefit to Mr. Budnick. It was noted that Mr. Budnick is unemployed at that time. Has no transportation. I had to borrow a vehicle to be able to get from point A to point B. And lives in a container through the generosity of a family that's befriended him after spending 10 days in jail for the false accusation of domestic violence or family violence, child abuse, and assault. Yes, where I did squeeze my wife's hand right now. His wife has left the island with their children. Now, I think it's very important that you understand, yes, that my wife had me put in jail and she left the island with our children. Yes, my 5 sons left the island while I was in jail. He has no other family on Guam. Now, Mr. Budnick would like to be allowed to leave Guam in order to move closer to his wife and children to attempt a reconciliation with them. Now, this attempt of reconciliation was an actual condition, yes, of the diversion, because of the false accusation of family violence, assault, and child abuse. To attempt a reconciliation with his wife and kids. Now, he was given information on how to contact, yes, Karen Carpenter of the Erica's house, yes, where I went and did my 7 hours of parenting classes, yes, and I paid the fees to be able to have that education. I don't think they were free. I think I actually paid for the classes. Now, about the parenting class that she conducts, yes, it is likely that parenting class of substantially similar content can be obtained in the state that he'd like to, yes, relocate to, yes. Now, this was important too. I called Health and Families Climate County, thinking that, yes, they would understand, yes, after 4 months, because I called them in May, yes, and I arrived in January of 2012. That somebody would have contacted me from the judiciary, yes, or Healthy Families of Clallam County, yes, informing me of what reconciliation classes they have, or any additional parenting classes necessary so as to have supervised visitation, or parenting right now.